Just coming into Jarrahdale now. Slowing down. There's quite a few little walks around the town. There's a historical walk that starts just up behind the old church and post office, and you can walk up along the creek line. They actually seem to be setting up quite a lot of good little walks. There's information online about the tracks for Jarrahdale, and they show you points of interest. Used to be an old wood milling town. The mill's closed now, I believe. There's a few orchards around too. Where that car just came out of, that's where we're going to turn right and head up to the cemetery and the start of the walk trails. Millbrook Winery is down the end of this road here to our right. Just keep going past the cemetery and you come down to the winery. It's quite a nice little place. You can have meals and things there if you book it, I believe. If not, just go back up to the hotel in the town and have something to eat there after your walk. As you can see, we're starting to get into some nice Jarrah Forest. Used to be a state forest, now it's a national park. There used to be a camping ground down here as well, where you could camp underneath the pine trees, but that has all been closed down. Start of the walks just up here. Oh, nice and dirty windscreen. There goes a little shelter. I'll show you the shelter, then we'll go for a walk. Walk takes, well, as long as you want it to take. It is about 1.5 kilometres for this little walk. This is one side of the information board, just tells you about Staceys Loop, which we're going to walk, and there's also Kitty's Gorge here as well, which is a really nice walk. It goes right down to Serpentine Falls, and you can turn around and walk back up, or if you've got friends you can leave your car at one end and walk down, and they leave the car at the other end and walk back up, meet each other halfway, swap keys, and then drive each other's car away, so you can walk one way only. Bit of a map here for you. We're going to do this little blue section at the top. It's about 1.9 k's. I thought it was 1.5 k's, but anyway, 1.5 hours they reckon. On the other side, that's the start of the walk there. That's the finish of the walk. Ooh, sunlight. No, you can't see it, the sun's shining on it. I've got a photo of this board. I'll put it up for you instead. It's got a little bit of history about the area. It's quite a nice little board. And last time I took a photo of it, I don't think it had those red handprints on it either. Coming along, I walk this track. Oh, if I can get out of the sun. There you go. I walk down there, I go anti-clockwise and come back up that track. You can walk the other way. It really makes no difference, almost. Going down here, you walk down into a valley, cross the little wooden bridge onto a steel platform, and then up over a small rise, rocky outcrop, down onto a second bridge, and at that second bridge we turn left and come back up that track. If you turn right at the second bridge, you keep on going down the valley through following Gurralong Brook, past the old campgrounds and picnic area, and just keep going down and down until you hit Serpentine Falls on Kitty's Gorge Trail. And if you don't want to do the first little loop that we're going to do, down that one, you can follow the green footprint arrows and that will take you all the way down Kitty's Gorge. I have brought the drone with me, but I don't know if I'll be able to fly it. I won't fly the drone around when there are cockatoos in the area, and I did hear one screech just then. Flying a drone around cockatoos scares them away and they won't come back for quite a while, and if they're nesting in the area or living in the area, it scares them off, and it's not fair on them. We're going in their backyard, they're not coming into our backyard, so we don't use drones if there are cockatoos and animals that are going to get scared by it. And there's probably a few eagles flying around, so they like eating drones, and they're a bit expensive. Anyway, we'll start off down this track. Now as you're walking along the track, you'll come across these little posts with a number on them. If you go online, there is a little map with these numbers on it, and it will tell you a bit of information about what they are. This one's obviously talking about a dirty great big jarrah tree going up to the top. You notice that the foliage is just starting to grow back on this one. There is dieback around these areas, and it does affect the foliage on the top and the trees. The charts, the maps, you can download off the internet. I think they're about $2 each, and print them up for yourself. Good to have. Got lots of information about the area. We'll head off, sunshine, down that way, and see what we can find. As you can see, the track going along is quite well defined, easy to follow, and it's certainly kid friendly, this one. It's not too long, and if you're careful and walk along and just stop and listen, you can hear the animals in the bush and the birds above you, like that one. It's not going to make any noise, and I can't see him either, but anyway, there's something big above me. Maybe I should turn this into the Blair Witch Project mobile phone video. Alright, we'll keep going. I'll see if I can find some interesting things for you. Alright, this is another tree here. It's a red gum, or is it a jarrah? That's a very old tree. It looks a bit like a jarrah tree, actually. It is, yep. Interesting though. This is probably why it's got the tag here. I haven't actually got the map. There's a rock at about a bit under 2 meters above the ground, just stuck in the side of the tree. So maybe there's a story about that rock being stuck there. Another interesting fact, these black boys, that one there's probably 3 to 4 meters long, double-headed black boy. They grow at a rate of around 1 centimetre a year. They also have some good uses. The Aboriginals used to use them for a few things, apart from lighting fires. We're heading downhill, try and get the sun out of the camera. Continue heading downhill, we'll come up to a fire break, cross the fire break, continuing down the road onto the continuing down the track onto a wooden bridge and then a metal walkway. Okay, this is number 3. You can see it sort of down there a little bit. There, we'll turn right and go down the hill. This is an old fire break. We came down, did that get you dizzy? We came down this little track here, and if you keep on going up that track there, the fire break, it will take you back into the town site. From memory, I think it stops at a fence line, and then there's a fire break around the fence line that will take you back up to the car park. So if you've got this far and you don't want to go any further, or you want to head back but not the same way, you can turn right here and head back. Or you can continue straight down that fire break. That will take you into the old Gurulong Park. Used to be the picnic area. For us, we're going to go through the bush there and get down to this bridge. At the moment I can't hear any cockatoos, so when I get to that clearing, if there's no birds around, I will launch the drone and fly up the valley for you, but if I hear a screech from a cockatoo again, I won't be able to. Anyway, moving on. Alright, this is site number 4. A couple of little bench seats for you to have a rest at. You could even have a snack or a picnic here if you wanted to. It's not too far away, there's a couple more benches there. Got to try and get the sunlight out of the lens. Just down in there is the bridge. We'll just walk down to that in a sec. Still can't hear any cockatoos, which is good. I might be able to launch the drone. The track's it's still there. It's covered in leaf litter, so you have to sort of pick it very carefully. It's not too hard to follow. It's there. It's covered in leaf litter and honky nuts. The red-tailed cockatoos and all the other cockatoos eat the honky nuts off the red gums and drop them on the ground. So it's probably a good idea through this walk to go and wear some sturdy footwear. Sand shoes or thongs probably won't hack it down here. Although I'm wearing sand shoes today, I'm being careful where I'm putting my feet. It would be quite easy to roll your ankle on these little honky nuts. Very nice and peaceful down here. It's probably why they've got the steps or the seats here, because it's just a peaceful little spot in the forest. Anyway, we'll get to the bridge. Just coming into the bridge now. This is the first one on the track. It starts off with a little wooden walkway across the creek, with usually has water in it, and then it has a steel walkway behind it. Trying to keep the sun out of the camera. Probably should have walked the other way. I've actually never seen this dry. That's the creek bed. I can hear some frogs. Usually there's some water just trickling down through this creek line. But yeah, this is really unusual. Well, unusual for me. I don't know if it dries out each year or not, but I've come up here quite a few times and actually camped in the old campgrounds, and I've always been water here. Used to be marron in the lake, in the stream as well. Anyway, just to protect the area a bit, they have these walkways. And then it'll follow up that hill there. Oh, sunlight. Probably should have walked the other way so I got a better video. I could tell you some survival tricks out here. You might be able to see in the bank there, oops, you can see how it's dry on top and it's got damp ground on the bottom. If you were really desperate for water, I'd be digging into that damper ground at the bottom, hoping to find some water. But then I'd also be walking along the creek line, hoping to find rock pools and things where there's a little bit more water being kept. Me personally, I carry a small day pack. It's got 2 litres of water in it anyhow, so I don't need to go digging for water and then filtering water. This is probably about almost halfway. I think from memory the rock face that we climb over is halfway, so we're only a couple hundred metres off that. Anyway, I'll see what else we can find for you. You'll see the track we're walking on. That's one of the old track markers. Just there, little yellow triangle diamond saying Staceys track. And further up, I actually noticed, try and keep this camera steady, they've actually identified a few trees out here. There you go. That's pretty handy. Hopefully they'll put some more markers out around the place and show you what the plants are. Obviously it's a Jarrah tree. Probably got a silhouette of that. Right next door to it is a red gum or marri tree going up. Now the difference, marri trees have the honky nuts that drop on the ground. Jarrah trees don't. Jarrah trees have a long stringy bark, and the marri tree, if you can hold that steady and zoom in a bit, has a very rough bark. Oh, should have come down here in the middle of the day because the sunlight's shining into the camera. So you've got the Jarrah, nice long stringy bark, marri, really rough bark. It also has a, why they call them red gums is because the sap leaks out the side of any injuries in the tree, and you end up with this red gum hanging out the side of the tree. We've got to go whoops, up the track further that way, across a little open bit of ground. If there's no birds around, oh no, I can still hear them. Yep, they're still out there. If there's no cockatoos around, I'll launch a drone. Otherwise we'll have to do this all on ground on a very old phone. Alright, number 5. Probably talks about an extremely tall black boy, or Xanthoria, if you want their name. This one's probably Xanthoria pressi, I think, or Pressies. Now, if you know anything about the Aboriginals, they're very clever people. They learnt a lot about the bush. They found out that they could use black boys, or grass trees as we're now only allowed to call them. And they found that the nuts on the grass trees, they have a sap that comes out of the trunk. I'll see if I can find some. Oh, there's some. See those little bits there? Now if you knock those out of the trunk and crush them up and throw them on the fire, they're very flammable. They'll have a big burst of flames coming out of the fire. And the Aboriginal, I guess you call them witch doctors or Gaditcha men, they used to get handfuls of this stuff and throw it on a fire in their ceremonies and things, and everyone would be in awe of the magic man creating big flames, and it would work in his advantage, I guess. They do have a lot of medicinal plants out in the forest too, but in fact they used to use black boys as well. What they can do is they get widgety grubs out of the black boys. Those little nuts, if you crush them up and heat them up slowly and add a little bit of kangaroo poo, yes, you mix it together and it becomes like a hot plasticine. It's like a clay or Play-Doh or something. What you can use that for is if you've got a broken or hole in your fuel tank or a water tank, you can plug it with this stuff, and when it cools down it hardens like cement. Very handy to use. You can actually add a little bit of red gum sap to it as well to make it a little bit more sticky if you want. But you've got to be careful that you don't heat it up too much because it'll just burst into flames. Anyway, onward and almost upward a little bit. We're almost at the little open area, but I can hear birds chirping, so yeah, we probably won't launch a drone today. When you come up to a log like this in the forest, a lot of people will just sort of stretch and step straight over them. You don't know what's on the other side, and there's plenty of snakes out here. Most of them are hidden. You'll be very, very lucky to find one, but quite often they'll curl up against logs. So when you come up to a log, actually step on top of the log and step away from the log on the other side. That way you don't get bitten. If you just walk up to the log and step over the log, you could upset a snake, if there's one there, and they don't like being annoyed, and they might strike out and bite you. They do have, as you can see, blackberries through here. They were introduced, and they're a pain in the bum. If you get caught up in these things, you've got to like spend hours pulling them and little prickles out of you. Just up ahead of us is the open ground where I was going to launch a drone, but as you can hear, in fact they're flying up there, the red-tailed black cockatoos are in the area, so I won't be flying the drone. This is the little open area I was talking about, little rocky outcrop. It's called, actually got number 6 on it. Oops, if I can hold the camera steady. There is, where are you? Up there. I don't know if you can see it right in the centre of the video. a red-tailed black cockatoo just sitting there, and he's watching me. And he's chirping away. He's probably telling all his friends there's someone walking around on the ground, so watch out. Once we get up through this little track just here, we'll go down onto the second bridge, and then we'll go up over the top of this hill here, and the car park's actually sort of up over that hill there. One of the things I like doing when I'm out in the forest is getting to a place like this, sitting down and just listening to what's going on around me and seeing what I can hear, or hearing what I can hear. Obviously there's a red-tailed cockatoo up the tree. I can hear some smaller birds around. Oh, he's flying away. You get him? He's getting a bit annoyed that I'm here, I think. He's calling out to all his friends. He's got his crest up. Yep, they're answering him. Yeah, I might keep moving. Obviously he's got a nest or something around here, or she. And I might be annoying him a bit just by standing here. So I'm definitely not going to be flying a drone. You can hear others down the valley. The valley goes down, oops, that way. Yeah, the valley, or the river goes down that way. But this one's watching me very carefully, so I'd say there's probably nests around in the tree hollows or up in the trees. And he's on lookout. Anyway, we'll move through his little backyard. We won't annoy him anymore. And get down to this bridge. Another tree marker here. If you listen to it very carefully, you hear the loud screeches of the adults, and you'll hear a sort of a smaller screech from the juveniles, or baby red-tailed cockatoos. And there you go, did you hear that? Probably not. Younger ones haven't got a strong voice at the moment, but this is why I won't fly a drone, because if they're still under the care of the adults and I fly a drone around, the adults may not come back for days or weeks and leave the young here. The young may end up dying. So yeah, like I said, we're in their backyard. It's better to respect them, give them all the time they want. I can see it. This phone just doesn't have a good camera on it. It's probably really bad video too, this walk. But yeah, upgrade a few things and I'll get some better videos for you. Just coming into the second bridge here. The cockatoos are getting quite vocal on the other side. There is someone walking up the track there, so that's obviously sparked them up. Now there used to be, we usually use water flowing down through here, and in fact there used to also be a gauging station that you can see. But if you have a close look at the end, it's broken through. The water's pushed through the gauging station and knocked it out. If you go up over the bridge on the right, you can see a little waterfall there. There's a good one for kids to play in. Just here, if I can get out of the sunlight, somewhere, probably there, you can see a track heading up a hill. There is a little marker there saying, hey, turn right if you want to keep walking on the foot track. This track up the hill heads up into the pine plantations, and with most plantations it's crisscross roads in there, so if you turn left and left and left, you'll end up back where you are. Or you can just turn left, go up to the main road, follow that down the hill, and you'll end up at the old Gurulong Brook. Or turn right and you end up in Jarrahdale. But yeah, here, second bridge, or first bridge if you're coming the other way. And just over here, that used to have water running all over it. Bone dry. And just under that tree at the end, where you can see the branches coming across, drops down into a little pool which is empty. and it's a good little spot for kids to play around in the water if you want to let them loose. At the end of the bridge we turn left and head back to the car on Staceys track, or we could turn right and head back down the Kitty's Gorge trail, and that goes past the old campgrounds and picnic area, so just following that little track down there. But we will head back up the hill this way. Now we're in some very nice forest here. One thing that well it shits me that people can't even get off the flaming track to go and have a crap in the bush. At least I put a rock over it. But seriously, walk off into the bush, grab a stick, dig a hole, do your thing, fill it in, then put a rock over the top of it, and you won't annoy people. There's no rubbish on this track at all, except for the toilet paper under a rock. I mean, how stupid is that? You can't even get off the track. That's pretty bad. Anyway, rant over. Just up here we'll turn left onto the fire break. Alright, we're on the track junction. Staceys Loop, Staceys track loop. Heads up the forest up, oops, that away. You can see the fire break going down there a little bit, and then it goes back up the hill. And heading the other way, fire break going straight ahead. Whew. Into the old picnic area. They used to have toilets down there as well, and there's the water tank at the top of the hill there that used to feed the toilets. At this little point here, they also give you a little map too. Kitty's Gorge Trail, Class 4. That's interesting, I didn't think it was that bad. I haven't seen on any of the maps Baldwin's Bluff, but it is there. It's quite a good view from the top of that, but it's not on the maps. Anyway, we will head off up that way. I can hear someone in front of us, so we'll probably catch up to them. Plenty of birds up that way as well. Not sure if you can see that or not. That's a termite mound. Well, it's better if I put a shadow over it. It's been smashed. And there's some diggings. There's quite a deep hole just there actually, right where the shadow is. And behind the black boy there's some more diggings and scratchings. I saw some down the track a little bit, down that way, and I thought, oh no, I'm walking up towards a pig. I don't really want to bump into a wild pig out here, but looking at this, I've actually seen a couple of little paw prints in there, so I'm guessing these are probably echidnas doing this. They have a very small mouth, a very long tongue, and they'll actually go into these ant hills, smash them open and eat all the little termites out of them. If it's not echidnas, then there's little animals like the woylie that love digging down and eating things that could be doing this, but I'd never seen a woylie smash open a termite mound like that, so I'd say it's probably an echidna. Bit shaky on the lens, very hard to keep it stable. I have to get a better camera for this sort of thing. Anyway, we'll keep on going up the hill. There's should be a fallen tree up here somewhere. We go under or around and then head up into the car park. Alright, just came across this one. You can even see what looks like a dog print. If it's not a dog print, it's a cat print, and they're probably following the scent of the animal here if it's a cat. Bit of a scratching there. It is now a national park. You used to be able to walk your dogs around here, but now that it's become a national park, no more dogs. If it's a cat and it's in here, I hope someone shoots it, because cats will eat our native animals and also the birds that are in the forest here. Anyway, we'll keep on walking. Okay, this is the last major point, I think, on the way back to the car. One rather large fallen tree. If you're a midget or got Duck's disease, you can get underneath it there and keep on going, or us tall people can head around to the left. There is a oops, I'm puffing. There is a post here, number 9 on it. It'll be on the map and it will probably say there's a fallen tree there. Oh, I'm so unfit, but getting out and doing these walks is pretty good for me. Anyway, back up the track this way. I don't think the stabiliser in this phone is going to handle the vibrations of walking. But anyway, we'll be at the car pretty soon. Back in civilization again. I've got this board again. I'll try and get a view so you can stop the image, stop the video. Maybe if I'm in a shadow I can get it better. Read the writing. Just by pausing the video you can read through it. A little bit of history about the area. Oops, there. Alright. A couple of the old photographs of the people. There's John Forest, or Lord Forest. Okay. This walk, as I said, 1.9 kilometres. Only takes about an hour and a half to walk if you're non-stop, but take it easy, have a good look around, stop and listen. It is, as you can see, just across the road from the cemetery. Really nice in the forest just here. And as they say, whatever you take in, you take out. Leave only your footprints and take only photographs. Or videos in this case. I'm not sure if these are going to turn out very well. I will make a video out of it, but I don't think the quality is going to be very good on an iPhone 6. Very rough and bumpy. Anyway, until next time. And just as a little end note for you, did you know that those people that are living in Jarrahdale are not allowed to be buried in this cemetery? It's if you like history, go and have a look in there too. You might find some interesting names in there.